Okay. Today we're going to talk about the power of thinking. And I've extracted from Emmett Fox in his book, Around the Year with Emmett Fox, 7 principles that govern thinking. So we're going to go through these principles one at a time and give you a pause to consider these principles. The first principle is the principle of substitution. So what Emmett says about the principle of substitution is the way to get rid of a certain thought is to substitute another one for it. When thoughts come to you, do not fight them. Think of another thought. We create our lives and our experience in thought, word, and deed. So this principle is saying, do not resist any thought that arises, but substitute another thought. So I'd ask you to consider right now your thought patterns and which ones are reflective of you and which ones are not. Those are the thoughts that you want to substitute. So, for example, if you think this thought, which is usually unconscious, I am not worthy, is that reflective of who and what you really are? So if that thought arises into the conscious mind, what thought might you substitute? In other words, what's true about you? The second principle is the principle of relaxation. And we all know that we live in a hurried world. So this is ultra importance that in all mental work, effort defeats itself. This is just the opposite of what works on the physical plane. So on the physical plane, we think effort is rewarding. In the mental plane, it's just the opposite. When tension is applied in the mind, it stops working creatively. And by the way, this is directly in line with Deepak Chopra's 7 spiritual principles, which is the law of least effort. When you try to force your thoughts mentally, or when you try to hurry mentally, you simply stop your creative power. So in other words, to tap into our creative mind, we need to relax. So silence and stillness on a daily basis is essential to governing one's own thinking. The third principle is the principle of subconscious activity. As soon as the subconscious mind accepts any idea, it immediately tries to put the idea into effect. The subconscious mind lines up all the laws of nature as they operate both inside and outside of you to manifest your intention. So notice he's now talking about intention and the importance of intention. So in terms of 7 principles that govern thought, we need to start with an intention, which moves into manifestation. The 4th principle is the principle of practice. And this is where many people fall short. Practice is essential to govern one's own thinking. There is no achievement without practice. And provided it is done intelligently, the more the practice, the greater will be the proficiency. And the sooner the goal will be attained. Practice makes progress. Now notice it doesn't say practice makes perfection. So this is not about perfection, it's about progress. Practice the presence of spirit in all of your efforts. So now Emmett is introducing the spiritual domain. The 5th principle is the principle of forgiveness. You have to forgive others if you want to overcome your difficulties and to make any spiritual progress. 2 primary ingredients of forgiveness are sincerity and compassion. So the 2 primary ingredients of forgiveness are sincerity and compassion. You do this not for the other person's sake, you do it for your own sake. So in other words, forgiveness is for the forgiver and not the forgiven. So never issue forgiveness to the other because that's arrogant. The 6th principle is the principle of dual thoughts. Every thought is made up of 2 factors, knowledge and emotion. Now pay attention to that because he's introducing the emotional component. It is emotion alone that gives power to the thought. So the thought in and of itself has limited power. No matter how magnificent the knowledge content may be, if there is no emotion attached to it, nothing will happen. So if you're familiar with Joe Dispenza's work, he really emphasizes the importance of attaching what he calls an uplifting emotion to the new thought. The 7th principle is the principle of growth. What you think / emote upon grows. So in other words, what we attend to grows. Whatever you allow to occupy your mind/emotion, you magnify in your own life. The more you think, emote about your grievances or the injustices you have suffered, the more such traits or such trials you will continue to receive. The more you think, emote of good fortune, like in the case of gratitude you have had, the more good fortune will come to you. So we're ready? Okay, you gonna be quiet? Okay.